Don't buy a course, hire a coach. Okay, I know what you're thinking. That headline probably goes against everything you've ever heard about learning to scuba dive. But what if the standard way of getting certified is, well, what if it's kind of a trap? Today, we're going to dig into a huge flaw in how dive training is often sold, and more importantly, show you a much better way to kick off your underwater adventures.
I mean, this is the dream, right? This is why we're all here. We don't just want to look at the underwater world through a mask. We want to be part of it, moving with total confidence, feeling completely at home. That's the real promise of scuba diving. So that brings us to the big question. Is that standard one-size-fits-all certification course really the best path to that dream? The idea we're exploring today suggests that actually there's a fundamental problem with the system, and it's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. All right, let's dive in and really unpack this problem. Why on earth would we call the normal certification process a trap for people who are just starting out? Well, it all starts with a little psychological trick. The industry has framed certification not as an exciting first step, but as this mandatory hurdle. It's something you have to do, a box you have to check, before the real fun can even begin. And that simple shift turns a cool opportunity into a chore. This is such a great way to think about it. Imagine learning to ski. You choose to take a lesson because you want to be safer and, have more fun. Nobody's forcing you. But with scuba, that certification is presented as this mandatory gate you have to pass through. And that completely changes how you feel about learning. And that pressure to just get it done leads to something called a C card factory. It's a business model that's all about volume. It's about churning out as many certifications as possible, as quickly as possible. The focus isn't necessarily on creating comfortable, competent divers. And here's the real root of it all, the flat fee. Think about it. You pay one price for the whole package. So for the dive shop to make sense of it financially, they need to get you through the course in a set amount of time. All of a sudden, the instructor's incentive isn't your personal mastery, it's speed. It's about getting you to the finish line, whether you're truly ready or not. So we've talked about the system, but this next part is all about you. Because how you approach this training makes a massive difference in how it all turns out. So, you gotta ask yourself, honestly, are you just trying to get it done so you can go diving on your next vacation? Or are you trying to build a real skill, a foundation of confidence that's gonna last you a lifetime? This just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the course mindset. It's a chore, a checklist. It's all about getting to the end. But on the right, the coaching mindset, that's totally different. Learning is the adventure. Gaining comfort, mastering a new skill, that's the fun part, not just a means to an end. Okay, so if the standard way is kind of broken, what's the solution? Well, this is where the whole idea of a scuba coach comes into play. It's about completely flipping the script from a transaction to a real partnership. Now, let's be super clear. This is not about skipping your certification. You absolutely still need a certified instructor, and you're still going to earn that C card. The key is to change the dynamic. You're looking for an instructor who acts less like a factory worker on an assembly line and more like a personal coach. And this table just nails the difference. Look at the payment model. Shifting from a flat fee to paying per session changes everything. Suddenly, the incentive for the instructor isn't speed anymore, it's your actual readiness. The goal isn't just to hand you a piece of plastic, it's to help you become a truly independent, autonomous diver. And this is the number one thing to remember. That certification card, it's just a license. It's not the goal. The real prize is being able to confidently and safely plan and go on dives with your buddy. That's the huge difference between being a tourist who just gets led around underwater and being a true explorer. All right, so this all sounds good in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? Let's break down the practical, real-world steps you can take to find your own scuba coach. Here's your game plan. When you call a dive center, don't just ask about the price. Ask about their teaching philosophy. Ask them straight up if you can pay per session. And be very clear about your goal. Tell them, I don't just want a card, I want to become a confident, self-reliant diver. That one sentence will tell them you're serious and help you find the right person. This line from the source material really just says it all. When you go looking for a coach instead of just buying a course, you're not just buying a product, you are seriously investing in your own future comfort, your safety, and your lifelong enjoyment of this amazing activity. So, we'll leave you with this final thought. When you finally decide to learn to dive, are you just going to check another box on a bucket list? Or are you going to take the first step in building the kind of real confidence that unlocks a lifetime of those legendary underwater experiences? The choice, as they say, is yours.